forests in Africa are rich in biological diversity and genetic resources. They have unique natural ecosystems, are habitats for wildlife, are good sources for timber and non-timber products, as well as ecosystem services that are levers for rural development. In 2008, African Forest Forum started its operations in Africa with the aim of protecting and managing African forests from deforestation and forest degradation.
The core mandate of AFF actually is to ensure that the forests and tree resources of Africa is better managed, is managed sustainably. When we say this, that is wise conservation and wise utilization of those resources in such a way that this generation and generation yet unborn will be able to meet the resources, to meet the need of future generations.
We are looking at how we can improve the livelihoods of the African people and the environment in which they live through better management and use of these forest resources. So if these forest resources have no use to the people, they will not have any incentive to protect them or manage them sustainably.
Although African forests occupy nearly a quarter of the continent's landmass, these tropical forests are under constant threat. About 70% of the wood in Africa is used for firewood and charcoal.
Because of the influx of population pressure, you can now see immediately, within 10 years, you can know that a lot of degradation has taken place. You can now imagine if there is no effort, no concerted effort being taken right now, what the situation will be in 10 years' time. So these are the issues that the African Forest Forum is now trying to devise various programs, to tackle, these problems.
Today, the Forum has over 2,000 members, with 94% from African countries and 6% from overseas. Members from 84 countries worldwide. Of this, 51 are African countries.
About 40% of all our 2,214 members, about 40% are foresters. The rest are outside the forest profession. As long as a person is interested in forestry, is interested in trees, we welcome them as members. And they make a really valuable contribution to that. They help us even to conceive or to appreciate the way people view forests and these resources, and also how to plan it so that it becomes holistic in meeting the demands of such a variety of members. We have to recognize the contribution of people from outside Africa who have worked in forestry and who continue to have a passion for African forestry. And these, we call them Friends of African Forestry.
Thanks to the intelligence, foresight, and commitment of the Forum's founding members, partners, and donors, the African Forest Forum activities on the continent have strengthened the efforts towards sustainable forest management in Africa.
Donc, depuis 2010, nous avons donc deux projets parallèles. Un projet sur la gestion durable des forêts qui est financé principalement par l'Agence suédoise de développement international, et un projet sur les forêts, les changements climatiques, les populations et les changements climatiques, géré principalement par l'Agence suisse de développement et de coopération. On a besoin de mieux comprendre comment on peut bien gérer les forêts pour tirer tous les produits et les services tout en conservant les ressources forestières. On a besoin également, d'autre part, de comprendre quels sont les liens qui existent entre les forêts et les changements climatiques et le climat, et comment est-ce que ces liens peuvent être bien gérés pour mieux tirer des avantages économiques et sociaux et même environnementaux des forêts.
African Forest Forum is a product of two successive projects funded by CEDAM on sustainable forest management. African Forest Forum is now growing very fast, and we still have positive interest to work with African Forest Forum because this organization is now becoming credible source of information. African Forest Forum is a knowledge hub when it comes to sustainable forest management.
Our partnership with the African Forest Forum in the frame of our regional initiative, African Forests, People and Climate Change, actually dates back to the year 2010. We are proud to see how AFF has grown as an institution and how we have been able to contribute to this together with our Swedish CEDA colleagues and many of you. For the future, we hope that AFF will be able to further grow in a sustainable manner. We as STC are eager to see and closely follow how the AFF will develop over the next decade and will favorably assess opportunities to continue our long-standing and rewarding partnership.
The forum has made significant strides in supporting a vibrant virtual community of stakeholders in African forestry and is also providing scholarships to its youthful members.
Every year we roll out students who go on scholarship to Switzerland. They do their theory there, come to the African continent to do their practicals before they write their thesis. So any area wherever we develop, we find some gap as much as possible, we tend to fill it.
I got the scholarship in 2014.
I was able to advance my career.
That's you upscaling from bachelor's to master's. At the same time, that advance and the skills which I obtained from the scholarship, I'm able to cascade it even to the communities because I've been working with some communities on how to manage their forest. With Africa Forest Forum Scholarship, that was my turning point. It was my turning point in research. It was my turning point on me on personal life. It was my turning point on how I approach things. It was my turning point on my passion for forest.
To further its agenda on sustainable development in forestry, African Forest Forum has developed strategic partnerships with regional and international organizations as well as sub-regional economic communities in Africa.
African Forest Forum have been a very great partner with the Kenya Forest Service. You may note that Kenya Forest Service hosts the largest pool of forest professionals. So in any engagement and any activity, we benefit directly and indirectly. A case scenario is, for example, how African Forest Forum has been able to build the capacity of our forest professionals, especially in terms of allowing us to engage effectively with the United Nations Forest Forum. In many occasions, they have been able to train foresters on negotiation skills and also trying to help us as a backstop during the negotiations. And this is a key role for us to be able to make a difference and be able to influence the decisions of the UNFF. Kenya Forest Service is actually the representative of the Kenyan government in the UNFF deliberations, and therefore they have been very strategic partner for Kenya Forest Service.
The landscape of forestry will continually change. That people should know, and people should be prepared to embrace those changes, either with new knowledge which they generate or improve on the knowledge that exists. And Africa has capacity in many of these areas. The question is how we mobilize that capacity, give it resources, and let our own people try to address the problems we are facing on our own. We can do it. and we have seen that in the past, and that gives me a lot of hope that in future, really with the teams of people we've worked with out there, I think the future is brighter than it was when we started the AFF.